When I was younger, I was a very closed-off guy. It was hard for me to make friends, and when it came to girls, it was a complete disaster. I didn't know how to act, what to say, how to spark a woman's interest and become that very man she would truly want. I envied those guys who could calmly walk up to women, speak with confidence, and see her start to gravitate toward them right before their eyes. And me? I just watched from the sidelines, feeling powerless and angry inside. It felt like I was somehow not like them, out of their league. I started looking for answers. I read books, watched videos, studied advice, repeat her name, make eye contact, keep an open posture, smile more often. It all sounded logical. But you know what? It didn't work. Not a single woman started seeing me as the one she truly wanted. There was no attraction. At best, a polite smile. And that was it. Game over. Then it finally hit me. The problem wasn't the techniques. The issue went deeper. Real attraction doesn't come from perfectly memorized lines. Real charisma. It's not repeat her name. It's what she feels even when you're just silent. It's the energy that grabs her instinctively. It's the confidence she sees in how you walk. It's the inner calm when you're not rushing to please her. It's the strength she senses even when you're not trying to prove anything. She looks at you and she gets curious. Why? Because you have that very thing I call charismatic pull. Let me tell you something important. This isn't some magical gift. You can develop this. I've been through it. I know what works, and in this video, I'll show you how to become the man that women naturally feel drawn to. To make that happen, you need to develop just 3 qualities. Inner presence, when you're fully here, in the moment, and she feels that you're confident, calm, and in control. Attraction energy, when you radiate warmth, steady strength, and certainty without saying a word. And personal power, your inner boundaries, strength of character, and the way you stand your ground without aggression or unnecessary words. We'll break each of these elements down. I'll show you with clear examples what exactly catches a woman's attention and how you can build this into your real life. No acting, no games, just you, but in your strongest and most magnetic version. Let's go. First is inner presence. Let me tell you something important. For a woman to start feeling you, for you to become interesting to her, you need to know how to be in the moment. Not stuck in your head, not thinking about what to say next, but here, with her, fully. When you're talking to a girl, the strongest thing you can give her is your attention. Sounds simple? But this is exactly where 90% of guys completely fail. They're constantly trying to think of what to say, how to come across, how not to look stupid. They don't actually listen. They don't see her real self. They're stuck in their heads, in fear, in a loop of trying to impress. And women feel that instantly. It just doesn't hit. Because deep down, she's pulled toward the guy who doesn't need anything, but simply observes. Here's a golden rule you need to remember for the rest of your life. When a woman speaks, don't think about what you'll say, just listen. And you might be wondering, but how will she know that I'm listening, that I'm actually interesting to her? Here's your answer. She'll feel it. A woman is emotional by nature. She doesn't read you through logic. She reads your energy. And if you're truly present with her, she'll sense it without a single word. Want an example? Think of a moment when you were talking to someone who truly listened to you. They didn't interrupt, didn't push their stories, didn't nod on autopilot, but just calmly absorbed every word you said. How did you feel about them? There's a sense of value. You feel important. And it's exactly the same with a woman, only 10 times stronger. Because in that moment, you're not just an interesting guy, you're a rare find. Now here's the second part that goes hand in hand with attention. Inner comfort. How you feel in her presence. A woman instantly picks up whether you're calm with her or if you're tense, nervous, uncomfortable. And here's where a lot of guys sabotage everything. They start playing a role. The smile looks fake, the body is stiff, the voice shakes, movements are nervous. She can't explain it, but something inside her says, something's off. Remember this, you need to feel relaxed and free inside. That's when you radiate calmness, confidence, and control. And without even realizing it, she'll begin to feel more feminine in your presence. Why? Because you're stable. You're the anchor. You're not fidgeting, not trying to win her over. You simply exist. And that alone is enough to start pulling her toward you. A simple real-life example. Imagine this. You're at a cafe, sitting with a girl. Suddenly you feel a sneeze coming. One type of guy will try to hold it back, feel embarrassed, worry about how she'll react. Another type just sneezes like a normal person and doesn't even give it much thought. Who do you think she'll see as more confident and calm? Exactly. You can even be silent around her, but if you're calm, focused, and grounded, she'll catch your gaze, feel drawn to you, and won't even understand why. That's why the first step to charisma, to being attractive, and to becoming the kind of man a woman sees as a real man is inner presence. Second is attraction energy. Look, a woman is someone who perceives a man through emotions, not facts. She's not moved by your achievements, not by how much money you have, not by words. She's drawn to how she feels when she's around you. And what she feels has nothing to do with what you say, but everything to do with who you are inside. That's why it's so important to develop what I call attraction energy. It's not about being sweet or acting nice. Forget that. Real attraction energy is calm, confident goodwill without fakeness, without trying to please. It's when you're not acting, but genuinely radiating warmth, curiosity, and inner strength from within. Let me tell you something really important. If you act nice only because you want to be liked, you won't spark attraction. You'll spark suspicion. A woman instantly feels it when you start adapting, when you're too soft, when you agree with everything, even if you don't actually like it. You know how that looks to her? Like weakness, like insecurity, like you're not real. Simple example. She says, "I love football," and you go, "Oh yeah, me too," even though you can't stand it. Think you scored points with her? Nope. Deep down, she felt it. You weren't being honest, which means you're not someone who stands his ground. And if you can't honestly say when something doesn't work for you, how will you act in a real situation? That's how her interest collapses. Now let me show you how it should be. You don't like football? Then just say it. Honestly, not a fan. Not my thing. But I get why people enjoy it. That answer has honesty, acceptance, and inner stability. You're not starting conflict, but you're not folding either. That's what earns a woman's respect and unconscious attraction. Want to be attractive? Stop pretending and start showing your real self. Be sincere, but not pushy. Share, but don't pressure. Support, but don't try to please. That's the kind of warmth women look for in a man, even if they can't explain it in words. Simple, real-life example. Your friend says, "I'm looking to rent an apartment." Most guys just go, "Ah, cool," and that's it. But you, if you know a good website with listings, just say, "Hey, there's a solid site. I'll send it to you." That's it. No pressure, no extra talk, no follow-up the next day. "So, did you check it out?" No. You just gave, just helped. A woman who sees how you act with others will feel your strength because you're not stingy, you're not playing a role, you're not afraid to be helpful. But at the same time, you're not pushing and not begging for validation. Inside, you should be this state. I'm open, I'm honest, I'm kind, but if you cross my line, I'll let you know. And that's when a woman starts feeling something with you that she rarely feels with others: respect, interest, and pull all at once. You're not afraid to say what you think. You're not ashamed to be yourself. And at the same time, you're not bitter about the world. You treat people with calm, grounded kindness. That is real attraction energy. Your inner warmth, mixed with strength, creates that very magnet a woman simply can't walk past, because it feels good, it feels safe, and it sparks something deep all at once. And the final point: personal power. Listen closely. Everything we talked about before, attention, presence, calmness, attraction energy, none of it will work if you don't have backbone. If you're soft, if you bend, if you're afraid to say no, a woman will pick up on it fast and all her interest will vanish. Because let's speak plainly, a woman might flirt, might show curiosity, might even play, but she will only truly love and crave the man she respects. And respect, that's the purest sign of your personal power. Personal power is not aggression. It's not yelling or trying to dominate. It's inner confidence, clear boundaries, and the readiness to stand your ground, even when there's risk. And I'm going to give you a few examples you need to live through and make part of you. First, stop seeking approval. You don't need to talk about yourself just to impress. You don't need to say what works. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your opinion. Want a powerful rule? Here it is. A man with charisma is someone who can sit in silence and still stay interesting. Ask yourself, can you sit next to a woman in silence without trying to entertain her and still feel completely at ease? If yes, you're already on another level. Second, be ready to defend your boundaries. Picture this. You don't drink. You're at a party, someone pours you a drink, jokes around. A typical guy says, "All right, fine, just a little." But a man with inner power says, "No, I don't drink." No explanations, no aggression, just no. That's it. And believe me, the women in that group will instantly sense who here has a spine and who doesn't. Same goes for situations where people try to test you. Someone crosses a line, says something off, pushes advice. You don't just swallow it. You calmly but firmly show that this doesn't fly with you. It's not about conflict. It's about strength, about having a spine you're willing to stand behind. Third, your physicality. A woman senses your strength not by what you say, but by how you move, how you sit, how you look. Your body is a mirror of your inner state. If you're tense, she sees it. If you're too jittery, she feels it. If you're composed, move slowly, stand with confidence, hold your gaze, you already stand out. Want a powerful life hack? Embrace this internal feeling. I'm the one in charge here. I calmly take up my space. I'm not rushing. I'm grounded. And watch how your posture, your walk, your behavior change on their own. She'll notice it, and it will speak louder than any words. One last thing I'll say in this section: don't be afraid to be yourself. You may have principles, views, values different from others, and that's okay. Your strength is not in trying to match expectations, but in being yourself and not being ashamed of it. And once you combine all of this, inner presence, attraction energy, and personal power, you become the kind of man a woman simply can't walk past, because you're rare and she's never met someone like you. Let's sum it up. Charisma isn't something you need to memorize. It's not tricks or cheap techniques. It's a state. It's inner energy that a woman picks up on in seconds, and it pulls her in more than looks, money, or clever lines. I gave you 3 key elements that make a man truly charismatic: inner presence, attraction energy, and personal power. That's your foundation. Build it, and you'll see how women start reacting to you differently. They'll seek connection with you. They'll feel something different around you. they'll want you, even if they can't fully explain why. I want you to remember one powerful thought. You don't need to become someone else to be liked by a woman. You need to be yourself, but in your strongest, calmest, and most confident version. And that's real, that's possible, that's already inside you. You just need to activate it. If you made it this far, you're already ahead of most guys, because you don't just want women, you want to become the kind of man they're naturally drawn to. And that deserves respect. Drop a comment. Which part hit you the most? What did you realize about yourself? Have you had moments where trying to impress ruined everything, or maybe times when you were calm and she started coming closer on her own? Let's break it down together. I read every comment. And if you want more videos where we actually explain how female psychology works and what makes a man truly magnetic, subscribe and hit the bell. There's a lot of good stuff coming, and most importantly, no fluff, just what works. See you soon. And remember, charisma isn't magic, it's a skill, which means it can become yours.